Hi, welcome back to the show again. This is Joycelyn Linton coming into the higher calling. Today it's the 2nd of July 2017. The time now is 12:52, so it's coming on to 1 p.m. British Standard Time. And I just want to share a reading here from the New Testament. And I'm outside of the church, just sitting in a little park area, enjoying the sunshine, the greenery of the grass, the trees, the blue sky, and the white clouds. And across you can see young people playing football, and some children at the swings, and the cars driving past. And beyond there is a brand new. It's a building. It used to be a pub, but then they broke it down and they've built a new building where you can hold community sessions. Like there's a nice hall with catering facilities, and just around it is the green belt of West London. And the green belt is a preserved area in England where it's just for greenery. And the importance of the greenery is that the trees is what sustains the air, the atmosphere that we breathe in. The trees, for those who remember their biology at school, the trees in the daytime, they give off oxygen that we need to breathe to sustain our lives, or to sustain life. And that is because the sun shines, and they use the sun to produce their own food, which is sugar, or not the sugar that we know on the table, but it provides, it says glucose, and then they give off oxygen through their leaves. And then in the night time, which means the daylight is gone, they no longer produce the glucose and give off oxygen, but now the cycle has ceased, and the cycle of producing glucose has ceased, and now instead they give off nitrogen. So the atmosphere is lacking in oxygen, and we have to reserve the oxygen supply that there is available to us. So then we go to sleep, and the body goes into a resting position. The metabolism slows down. That means the breakdown of the food in our bodies that is utilized to give us energy, to replenish the cells and tissues in our body, to keep us alive in this spiritual body, in this physical body. So we need the oxygen that we breathe in through our nostrils, that then attaches itself to our bloodstream via our lungs. So we need that as a source of energy to break down the food products and to give energy to our cells and tissue to maintain the physical body, you see. So there you go, I'm talking about something else here. So that's what the green belt is there, is to have a land that is preserved for the greenery, and to ensure that the city life, that the atmosphere can have some form of cleansing or purification, because it's not taken up with buildings, but it's pure green land. Okay, that's the green belt. But the reason why I've come back, and I'm going to call this part 2 from this morning's reading on Jeremiah chapter 28, is the second reading is on Matthew chapter 10 verse 40 to the end. And from the Good News Bible it says, "Whoever welcomes you welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. Whoever welcomes a prophet in the name of a prophet will receive a prophet's reward. And whoever welcomes a righteous person in the name of a righteous person will receive the reward of the righteous. And whoever gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones in the name of a disciple, truly I tell you, none of these will lose their reward." This is the gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. And I want to just compare it to the King James Version here. King James Version says in chapter 10, verse 40, "He that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. Okay, in the park, so the wind blows the leaves of the Bible here. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward, and he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water, only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. Okay, so that's the Good News and the King James. Good News says, welcome, welcome. Okay, and the King James Version says, he that receiveth, okay, receiveth you, receiveth me. Okay, and he that receiveth me, receiveth him that sent me. So this is Jesus speaking to the Lord's people, the Jews, and to his disciples. So, and that he had 12 disciples, which reflects the 12 tribes of Israel, or the 12 tribes that Jacob had, his 12 sons, that were split into Israel, the tribe of Israel, and the tribe of Jacob. There's some background knowledge here. So I wanted to talk a bit on this, and I'm asking for the presence of the Lord, and that his word will flow through me. So it talks about he who receiveth. And then if I go again over to the chapter 1 of the Gospel of St. John, verse 12, it says here, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. All right, folks, and this is an issue that I'm having right now, because one of the reasons why I haven't gone straight home and I'm sitting in the park is there's a real turmoil that's going on within. Partly because I'm sensitizing on more events to take place on the earth, and they seem to be catastrophic events to take place, and that means people's lives are going to be involved here, and it's weighing on me because I'm knowing this beforehand. I'm knowing this before the realization of the people, and that means people can actually face some form of atrocity on themselves that might lead to their departure in this life. And this weighs on me. This really weighs on me, and I'm praying to the Lord, enable me to know what to do, because with this fire that took place in West London, with the high tower, the sky-rise apartments, flats, Grenfell Tower, and I call it the Infernal Blaze, where 24-story height of flats caught alight, but I think it caught alight from I'm not sure if it's the 12th floor upwards, and the latest figure I heard, which still stands 2 weeks ago, was there was about 79 people who actually died, but people are speculating that there must be more because of the fiercity, the ferocity of the ferociousness of the flames, you see. And I'm saying that when I went there within the next few days, there was so much peace. As we looked up, there's people coming by on the Saturday and on the Sunday. The Sunday there was a whole congregation of people, and people were just walking around, looking up at this burnt out building, skyriser, and there was silence, so much silence among us. Of course, I was feeling quite hurt inside, and I just wanted to kind of just scream out. But on the whole, there was silence. And as we looked up at the building, there was silence. I didn't feel as though there was any horror, because if you think about it, this whole skyrise burnt. So there was how many flats were there inside there? How many people was living in there, and how many people in each flat? And yesterday I read that they saw a body with holding a baby, sitting down and holding a baby. Okay, So, yeah, when we were there and we were looking up onto this burnt out building, there was so much peace. I didn't hear the cry of voices. There was no harrowing effect of looking up. It got to the stage that there was so much peace, and people felt they had to capture that moment, and with their selfies and taking pictures, that somebody wrote and said, "Can you remember that people died here? This is not a museum piece. This is not a tourist attraction." But I think it was because there was so much peace. Nobody could hear the sounds of the people screaming, crying out. Nobody had that sense that, woo, I mean, we have a fair amount of intelligence, and we have a fair amount of spiritual intelligence, and somehow we would know if people were crying out in torture, as the flames came and swooped them up, or whether the fumes from the burning material could have suffocated them. All these are the likelihood to happen when such a fire takes place, you see. But none of that came through. It was very peaceful, very serene. You didn't hear the echoes of any voices, any screams coming from that building. So all I can conclude is that the angels came. The angels were surrounding them and took the people and transcend them out of this life into another. And so they really didn't feel any pain. They didn't get the sensation of this burning taking place. And how I can say that is I know that I prayed and I invited others to pray with me and to fast and pray on the Wednesday, because I had a high intuition that something like this was going to take place. I felt a disturbance going on in myself, and I tend to go into deep sleeps. I don't know if my spirit, my soul leaves this physical body, and what's happening out there as I go into these deep sleeps, and I try not to go into them, but it is just so strong and compelling on me. So I really think that the figure that they've given so far is a redeeming quality. It suggests highly that the angels were there, saving the people, delivering them from the worst perils of the pain of flames and inhalation, breathing in the fumes, because the place would not be so peaceful. People will shudder to want to even take pictures. You'd feel it in your spirit. If you take your camera up and you just feel it, no. And people will feel really disgusted. But I spent the whole Sunday there, from early way into the night, just hanging around, just looking up, looking at the people. If somebody was singing, joined. If somebody was kind of rocking in prayers, joined in. And so many of us just hanged around the place for the day. So that really told me that the angels were there, bringing deliverance on the people, delivering them from the torture of the situation here. So it brings me back onto what I was saying on receiving. It says, to those who receive, the wind is blowing the pages here, so it's hard to keep a hold of the King James Version. The wind, otherwise I'll just have to. So, the wind is blowing. So, one moment. I want to do it from the receiving, chapter 10. I want to do it. It says, he that receives you receives me, and he that receives me receive him that sent me. And I want to talk from a personal experience right now. I want to talk about what I'm experiencing as a messenger of the Lord, that his word flows through me and he's causing me to speak to the people. However, many people are having an issue in receiving what I have to